the Pope. Christina Adoni made me ask this question. The Pope said the family was the nearest hospital, the first school, and the best home for the elderly. Is this Conservative government doing enough to help the family?
Well, first of all, that's a statement of fact. It is, at the end of it all, whatever else we define, the key cornerstone and building block to all that happens in society. Now, it's not to say people have difficulties and there are problems, but at the end of it all, we want stability. We want family stability so that people can actually grow through their families and actually go on to achieve things. I talked a little bit about that earlier, about having that sense of self-worth that's derived from being valued within your family, being cared for, and able to see that whoever is looking after you, as your parent, etc., is able to show you the right route, but at the same time gives you that sense that who you are is the value, not what you can give. And I think we have done quite a lot for families. I think the biggest problem we faced, was that everyone has run scared from the subject of family and from, of course, the term marriage, which is part of the process of family. And I think politicians ran scared of this because if you said anything about families staying together or marriage or anything else, suddenly everyone wants to point the finger, but that means you're against something else. Because you're in favour of something doesn't mean you're against something. We want to support all families that try to bring up their children, look after their relatives, because that's the key. It's about those relationships. So we've done quite a lot so far. I mean, Universal Credit will do a huge amount to levelling that off and supporting them, and the same will go with the marriage tax allowance, which helps with couples who have made that big decision. A lot of support we're putting now towards guidance, marriage guidance and support guidance to couples who may not even be married, etc. All of that is part of the process of trying to help people early on to recognise that it takes a lot to help a family through difficulty. But is there more we can do? Of course there's more we can do. I mean, what the Pope said is a statement of fact, so families should be at the heart of all of our policy. So I've actually been asked by the Prime Minister to head up the search to check that everything that the government does is actually about building families and supporting them, not about taking things away and destroying them. And if we can apply that with all my colleagues here and elsewhere to asking ourselves that simple question, is what we're doing going to help us keep families stable and give them the opportunity to be able to make those big decisions and grow, or is it not? And I think that's going to be the big change in the next 5 years, is that all government, secretaries of state, running departments will want to ask themselves that single question when they come to that moment: are families going to be stronger as a result of what I do? And if the answer is yes, then I think we've started on a real revolution.
Would you agree with Sajid, Ruth, that perhaps the best way we can help the family is to build more homes so that people have somewhere safe and stable to live in?
I think house building is a big part of it. I think also that there are different ways in which we can help families and different types of families that need help. And I think at the kind of extreme end, where there are people that don't have the skills, parenting skills, where there are people that have perhaps issues of mental illness or others who have severe chronic debt issues, who have difficulties in terms of employment, issues in terms of management, of anger management and others, I actually think we have to be much more proactive. We, in this party in particular, hate the idea of state intervention, of nanny statism and all the rest of it. There's a fantastic sort of scheme that runs up in Dundee, which is a city that's not without its problems and its deprivations in Scotland, that I've visited very recently, which does that sort of intensive help, and it physically takes families out of the home that they're in, the situation that they're in. It moves them into accommodation that they have, and it works with them for between 6 months and 2 years, with people in every single day, not just telling them what it is that they should be doing, but showing them what they should be doing. That intervenes in so many different areas, in terms of income, in terms of cooking, in terms of looking after a child, in terms of making sure that they attend areas in which that child can then grow and meet with other children the same age, so at nursery or play school or whatever. And it is transformative, and it is without doubt the most important time to give a child a chance to have a successful adulthood is between the ages of 18 months and 4 years. And we have to not be shy to go in and be able to help in a really overwhelming and comprehensive way for those families that are at that end that really need it, to give them the chance that they need. And I have seen it in action. It is transformative. I would love to see it in every city in the UK, not just in one city in my part of the UK.